Now then, I'm going to have a chat to you today about cheat meals and when and why you would use them. And I'm also going to touch on where I feel people use them and justify it wrong. So first of all, we'll start with why I would use them and at what points I would use them. So let's just go on an off-season setting. So just a phase where, if we're not talking bodybuilding, if we're just talking a phase where you're not dieting for something particular, but you're just trying to grow muscle and you're just trying to cruise along at a good steady state. So the times that I would throw these in would be either after a big session, so maybe after leg session, so that it's going towards the recovery for that session. I'd potentially have a cheat meal 24 hours before, so ideally on the end of a rest day or something like that, when your body's trying to recover from the days that you might have been hammering it. And also, say for argument's sake, if you've got legs or something highly taxing the day after, again, sometimes a cheat meal is a good option the night before so that you're fueling. I certainly wouldn't be putting it in, an hour to 2 hours before a big session or before any session really, because you're just not going to feel great to train. You're going to feel sluggish and it's not going to sit right to do that. So they're the times that I would use it in an off-season setting. If at all, you might be one of these people that doesn't like using them, that you might just up your carbs slightly. So we might go for, say for argument's sake, your usual meal is steak and chips, steak and potato. You might double or treble your intake of potato if that's how you like to do it. It's a personal preference really. One of the other reasons, not for a physical reason particular, but more mental, in an off-season setting or in a diet setting, one of the reasons that I would put a cheat meal in is so that you can socialise with your family, you can do something that's kind of normal, because obviously to get anywhere in bodybuilding or in anything gym related, you have got to make some sacrifices, and the meals and nutrition is one of the big things that you do have to make sacrifices in. So if that one day a week you get with your missus and your kids and you go out and have a meal, or have a takeaway or whatever it might be, go for it. Don't even have a reason why you're doing that. That's it's life is that. You're not. I'm talking to 99% of us aren't going to be on the Olympia stage anytime soon. So remember that you are only here once. So I definitely always keep that in mind. In terms of dieting and prep, I think that people overuse the saying of, I've had a cheat meal, I needed one. I'll use my client Jack for example. He went a good 5 weeks before he really hit a plateau, and it was like, I need something, I'm flat as out, I'm drained, and Jack had a cheat meal and he looked 10 times better after it. A weekly cheat meal, when you're just generally dieting and trying to lose fat, I wouldn't say is needed until you get really, really lean. Talking under 10%. When I'm saying not needed, again, it's up to you. If you can justify that, if you want to put that in because you're thinking to yourself, oh, I need that day with my family, I need it, put it in. But just be aware that isn't helping you progress. Because I do think people justify that. I hear it all the time saying, yeah, I have one every week because my trainer says that that's the best way to do it. Be aware of why they're saying it, and if they're not giving you a reason, then they're shit. The reason that I would tell my clients to have one, let's reiterate it again, lifestyle. Physically, it would only be when they were super, super lean, and it'd be in order to bring sodium and glycogen up if that had completely dropped out. And in the off-season settings, as I say, going back on it, would be before a big heavy session or after a big heavy session, or on a rest day when you're trying to get as much in as you can to recover from the previous days. So yeah, just as I say, it's just mainly having that understanding of why you're putting it in there, and not just putting it in willy-nilly and saying, yeah, that does this, that does that. You know, there's some argument about leptin levels, but again, to deplete your leptin levels, you'd have to go weeks and weeks without a cheat meal. Again, really quickly, I'll use my sister-in-law for as an example. She's been dieting quite hard, and I do truly believe that her leptin levels had bottomed out, and she had a cheat meal, and then, because she'd said the week before, oh, my weight's just not falling off, I'm eating this amount of calories a day, but it's just stopped, it's just, I've lost a stone, and then all of a sudden it's just stopped there. And I said to her at that point, I said, go on, have a bad meal, and she ended up having a bad weekend, and guess what, the weekend after, she did lose. But as I say, don't use that as something that you can do all the time. It's not. Justify it for the right reasons, you know, for family life, not for necessity. So yeah, keeping that in mind. Another tip on the end of that is don't binge. You know, if you're going to have a cheat meal, have a good meal, have a bit of a dessert, but don't just eat until it's going out of fashion. It's easy to do. When you open them floodgates, it's easy to do. And that, you know, there are certain people that I don't even recommend cheat meals for, and that I would probably, if I was coaching myself, probably wouldn't advocate cheat meals for me, because as soon as I've opened the floodgates, that's it then. My you know, everything's out of the window. You feel like you've done that, and then, you know, getting back on that train of eating your clean foods again is tough. So yeah, there are certain people that I do believe probably would suit without it, but the reason I do it, and I'm not under any delusion that I'm doing it for anything other than the fact that I want to have a pizza on a Saturday night with my wife and son. So it just is what it is. You know, if I want to go out for a beer with my mates, I will do. It's not something that I do every weekend, you know, but it's something that if it comes up, I don't want to feel like I have to not do it. So yeah, just make sure that when you are putting that cheat meal in, you have a good reason to do so. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed that.